So yesterday we talked about Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. Today is another guy who I think is definitely a top 10 pick, maybe even a top 5 pick, the number one offensive tackle on many people's boards. It's Andrew Thomas from Georgia, who played left tackle. I believe he's a junior this year, so he should enter the draft. I mean, I don't think he declared yet, but I'm like 99% sure he'll declare, because why not? He's going to be a top 5 pick most likely. So with him, my initial reaction, just like I did with Isaiah Simmons, I'll admit up front, I don't watch every single snap of these guys, but I went back and watched about 5 games of Andrew Thomas, every single snap, and he's one of those guys who just, I guess you could say, jumped off the page. I guess jumped off the screen or jumped out at you would be the best way to say it. I don't know. You guys know what I mean, though. He was one of those guys that just looked better than everybody on the football field. He was like a lot bigger than everybody, and just the way his feet moved for a big guy who's like 6'5", and how much does he weigh? I forget. 6'5", 320 pounds was very impressive to me, and the way he was blocking in the run game as well was just phenomenal. And he's one of those guys that just blew me away, and that's basically my takeaway from him. So I'll jump into it more obviously and get more in depth here, but my first reaction was this guy is like a can't miss top 5 prospect, probably top 3 prospect in this draft for sure. I think, barring injury, he's a sure thing. He'll be a really good left tackle in this league for 10 to 15 years probably. I could be wrong, obviously. I'm not a real GM or anything. I'm just like a fan basically watching here. But from what I saw from Andrew Thomas, I'm very impressed. Some people are skeptical about him and don't have him as their number 1 left tackle. I don't know why. I think I watched the top 5 rated guys, and he's just far and above better than everybody in my opinion. So I think out of 10, I rate these guys out of 10. I think for him, I had a 9.5 out of 10. I'd never had a 10 out of 10 yet. So from this draft, there's a couple 9.5s. I think Chase Young was one of them. Trying to think who else. I mean, there was probably a couple in there, but not many 9.5s, but he was a 9.5 for me. So he definitely jumped off the screen once again to me. So let's jump into I lost my train of thought there, but I meant to say let's jump into the pros and cons here for Andrew Thomas. So the pros, he's a ridiculous run blocker, just the type of guy that somehow gets into the second level, blocks the linebackers and cornerbacks. For a guy his size, once again, is very impressive. He's just a great lead blocker. You would think that's usually what a guard does, but even as a left tackle, he does it all. So I love that about him. He is the, I think, quote-unquote, safest prospect in my opinion. You can argue Chase Young. I won't really argue that either, but that's just my opinion. I mean, it's a left tackle, so I mean, I guess anyone can get injured, obviously, but not a lot of times left tackles get injured too much. I mean, sometimes a guy can roll up on your ankle and, yeah, stuff happens, but for the most part, left tackles do stay pretty healthy and durable throughout their careers. An absolute mauler I talked about in the run game. I mean, we talk about Will Hernandez being a mauler. I mean, this guy is a different level. So if you watch him on the run blocking plays. It's honestly just amazing, like how quick his feet move and just how he just gets to that second level and blocks these linebackers. I thought it was great work by him. His footwork is really good for a big guy. I talked about it before, 320 pounds, knows how to move his feet really well. Second level blocking I discussed before. And it seems like, I don't know if it's just, because he's playing against college players who aren't superior talents like he is. It seems like once he gets his hands in that right position on you in a block and pass blocking situations, it's over. The only time I would see him get beat is to the outside, and I guess he's the type of left tackle that just leans more towards the inside, doesn't want to get beat inside, and that's fine. I mean, but if you have the footwork and the quickness to get back outside and basically knock that defensive end or outside linebacker away from your quarterback and still give your quarterback that pocket, then it's fine. It's just a different style of doing things, and I'm fine with it. As I said, his pass blocking wasn't flawless, but still really good. I mean, that's why I gave him the 9.5. If I thought his pass blocking was flawless, I would have gave him a 10.10 as a prospect. So some general notes about him. Drafting him can put Nate Solder at right tackle. I know a lot of Giants fans are fed up with Nate Solder. They want him, traded or cut, and it doesn't make financial sense to cut him because I think, trying to think off the top of my head right now, I could be wrong. I think they owe him around $17 million next year, but his dead cap would be like $12 million. So it really makes no sense financially to cut this guy. You're only saving $5 million, so you might as well keep Nate Solder. And as I said, hopefully he was playing through an injury last year and he comes back a lot better. You move him to right tackle, maybe he's better. I think he played right tackle a bit his rookie year, but that was like 2010 or 2011, so it was a while ago. But if he has a whole offseason to adjust, then I'm sure he could do that and hopefully be better than he was at left tackle. He can protect Daniel Jones' blind side for 10 to 15 years. I mean, that's a big thing, so we all talk about it. There are many times this year, especially for a quarterback, if Daniel Jones is going to have some fumbling issues in his career, I don't expect him to just cure the whole problem, for the rest of his career. He's going to fumble. Everybody fumbles. But this guy is, more prone to doing it than other quarterbacks, it seems like, and hopefully he does fix it, to a certain extent. But if you can get a left tackle there that can just protect his blind side and just limit the times he gets hit, give him more time to throw, it would make his job a whole lot easier and cut down on the turnovers as well. He helps Saquon Barkley in the run game. I don't even know why I wrote helps Saquon Barkley better in the run game. I don't think that makes sense grammatically, but you guys know what I mean. So you guys know my argument about running backs all the time. A lot of it depends on your offensive line and your quarterback and your scheme and stuff like that. But here you go. If you get yourself another great offensive lineman, not only a great pass blocker, but I think an even better run blocker, if he can get to that secondary, knock off those linebackers and safeties and allow Saquon Barkley to get to that second level, not being touched, he's going to go for 1,500 yards maybe, or some kind of crazy number. So I think having a guy like an Andrew Thomas at left tackle can benefit this offense in both aspects. Kind of lost my voice there, but he's not only if you get a wide receiver 4th overall, which some people have talked about, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, very talented players obviously, but if you just get a wide receiver, it's not going to help you too much with the pass, or obviously the passing game, but not the run game. But if you get a left tackle, this can change your franchise, as I said, for 10 to 15 years. I mean, left tackles can last for a long time as long as they stay away from the unlucky injuries and stuff like that. So I think he's a very safe pick. Does he fall to 4? I'm not sure because, look, I don't watch every Detroit Lions game, I'm not going to lie once again, but their left tackle, Taylor Decker, I think had a rough start to the season. I think he got better as the year went on. Not sure if he signed a second contract yet because he's still pretty young, so I'm not sure if he's the future there or not. Honestly, while this video is still going on, I could just look it up and just be sure here. So we'll see what Taylor Decker's contract is. If he's making a ton of money and he's only in the first or second year of his contract, then that's probably not going to happen, so we'll see. No, I think next year is his last year, 2020. He's making $10 million next year. That's pretty crazy. So his cap hits $10 million. There's no dead cap, so I guess they could release him. But 2021 is a free agent, unrestricted free agent. All right, so Taylor Decker doesn't really matter right now. I wasn't sure if he signed that big second contract. So yeah, they don't, what's the word I'm looking for here? They don't, I'm going to forget now. They don't owe him anything, basically, beyond next year is what I'm trying to say. So they could take an Andrew Thomas at left tackle. The Lions, they have Matt Stafford, who they believe is their quarterback of the future. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think Matt Stafford is. People don't respect him as much. I think he's a very good quarterback in my opinion. Did have the back fractures the last couple of years, but assuming he stays healthy, I think he's a good enough quarterback to be your franchise quarterback. I think he's shown that. So we'll see. Andrew Thomas, as I said, I think a very safe prospect, a guy I love. I think he's a guaranteed, I don't know if you can call left tackle superstars in the NFL, but he's going to be a very, very solid player in the NFL for a long time, in my opinion. So we'll see. I could be wrong, obviously, but when I watch this guy on tape, just a lot of eye-opening stuff in a good way. So let me know what you guys think. I would say, I put a poll out the other day. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I got to go. I tweet a good amount. So, all right, here we go. I said if the number 4 pick was to you and all these guys were available, who would you take? And 70% said Isaiah Simmons and 12% said Andrew Thomas, only 3% for Jeff Okudah, and 15% said trade back. So 70% saying Isaiah Simmons is a lot and only 12% for Andrew Thomas. So I put this out right after the national championship game, so that's kind of the Isaiah Simmons performance is fresh in people's minds, so it definitely benefits him. But still, the percentage he got from Giants fans was not too much. But there are people who firmly believe you get the left tackle and help Daniel Jones. So I'm all for that. If I had to make that pick like this second right now before the combine's out and stuff like that, I'm honestly leaning towards Andrew Thomas, and I might be crazy, but I think that pick would benefit this team most. I think, in free agency, I'm definitely going to have free agency videos for you guys. My move, because I don't think the Rams could afford to keep him, would be to sign Corey Littleton. Of course, Yannick Ngakoue is your first option, but assuming he gets franchise tag, which could happen, I would throw a good amount of money at Corey Littleton to have him at inside linebacker next to, hopefully, a healthy Ryan Conley. And then In that case, you wouldn't exactly need Isaiah Simmons. Of course, it'd be nice to have him, but it wouldn't be a necessity. So there's a lot of ways they can go about this. I mean, Dave Gettleman definitely makes some interesting picks sometimes, so we'll see. I mean, does he get the Auburn defensive tackle? Could happen with Dave Gettleman. I would not put it past him, but we'll see. There's obviously a lot of months left till this draft happens, and if you guys are enjoying these draft prospect videos, let me know. I'll continue to do them. I could do Jeff Okudah or someone else. Who's the defensive end? AJ Espinoza, something like that. I can look into him as well. So if you guys want me to do that, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.